Hello, Cassandra Sparks.
Hello, Ewan.
How are we?
Oh, I'm excellent. Thank you. How are you today?
Do you know what? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. How's your week been?
Of course. Good. Happy it's Friday. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
am too. I feel like this week has been one of those weeks that has just been an absolute blur. Like from the start to the finish, it
Yep.
has been wild.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Yeah.
Um, Ewan, I'm seeing the Speakeasy graphic and not your
Are
face.
you? Is
Hmm
it right in my face? Did you say it's in my
I don't see
face?
your face at all.
You don't see my face?
Mm-mm.
You sure? I see my face. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call technology
Oh,
issues.
wait. There we go. There we go. We're good.
Did you see me now? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cassandra, I think that most people that are watching this podcast live streamed on our social media channels follow our Facebook pages so we can live stream there, or our Instagram pages so we can live stream there too. Would be
Yeah.
pleased to say that
Yeah.
they can't see me, but there you go.
Oh, I'll wait here while you take that back, sir. I'm
Okay, I
waiting.
will. Well, but the thing is, I went for fish. I fished, and nothing. I didn't catch anything. Okay, so moving swiftly on. Uh, Well, it's great to see you on this Friday. I'm glad that you can
Oh,
now
you
see me. I'm glad that
too.
everybody is able to see
Yes.
with both of us because we are both looking
Mm-hmm.
dazzling, radiant, and bold.
Yes, indeed. Sparkling brightly.
Right, exactly. Well, we get
Yeah,
started. Enough of this fluff.
absolutely. Ewan, let's begin by sharing with our wonderful audience what we're going to be talking about today
Yes.
in this speakeasy. We're going to jump into thinking creatively as a leader, but we're just not going to look at it at face value. We're going to look at how to spark new ideas, challenge old patterns, and actually get your team to think beyond the obvious, what's right in front of them.
Yes. And we are going to be talking about how it's more than just brainstorming when it comes to thinking
Mm.
creatively as a leader. It's about creating the right space for creative thinking to actually happen, not just hoping for it.
Oh, doesn't
So why
that
don't
sound
you
wonderful?
why don't you kick things off, Cassandra, by sharing
Mm-hmm.
who we are for anyone that is joining us at the Speakeasy for the very first time today?
Yes, I would be honored. Welcome, everyone, to Sparks Squared Speakeasy, the leadership conversation that you weren't meant to overhear, served up like a casual pub chat for leaders. My name is Cassandra Sparks. I'm your go to gal for authentic motivation and audacious boldness. And I'm here with the dazzling, wonderful, brilliant Ewan.
That's right. I am Ewan. I am the founder of the Bright Spark Group, where we make workplace learning not only work, but do it in a fun, engaging,
Mm-hmm.
inspiring, and always interactive way, too.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. I love that dramatic pause. Thank you, Cassandra. Effortless as always, as the two of us are.
Okay, so folks, pull up a chair. This is real, honest talk about leadership in real life. Let's dive into it. The speakeasy doors are now open.
Woo! And I have got my bold take ready for us, Cassandra. So let's lean into today's topic. And I think we are going to start by thinking
Yes,
outside of the box.
we are. And one way that we're going to do that is to go back to last week. Last week's topic was about clarity as a motivational tool. So the challenge that we presented was this: ask someone on your team just one simple question. What does success look like for this project? That's a seemingly easy question. And yet, so many of us forget to ask it because we're assuming that folks understand what's happening.
Mm.
Ewan, tell us what that looked like for you over the past week.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Cassandra. I was thinking about a client project that we're currently working on and had a conversation with one of our instructional designers, we were talking about this activity that we're trying to create that was going to supposed to reinforce one of the many tools and frameworks that we had included inside this learning module. It was for a front of
Mm-hmm.
house team in a hotel brand, and we really were trying to make this activity kind of feel like it was fit for purpose, like it was being put in there with intention. And we were going back and forward, and eventually we both kind of stopped ourselves and thought, we're missing the point here. So we
Oh.
asked ourselves the question, what are we trying to change? And when we asked
Mm.
ourselves the question, what are we trying to change with this activity? It unlocked our ability to be able to see it far more clearly what the actual goal was. So in this tiny little thing of just like an activity inside an e-learning module, there has to be purpose to it. We're not just making people click for the sake of clicking. We need to make sure that they're clicking and learning at the same time. So when we asked ourselves that question, we were able to completely reshape the activity. And we created this interaction that was really fit for purpose. It helped us to be able to make sure that the learner got exactly what they needed out of that moment in time within the learning. And it was more than just a click.
Wow, that sounds incredibly powerful and like it shifted the entire experience. One question shifted
One
everything.
question. One
It's
question. And
amazing.
do you know what? I kind of kick myself because it's the question we always ask during our very, very first call with all of our clients when we're taking on a new
Mm-hmm.
e-learning, digital content, learning curriculum design project is, what are you trying to change? And
Mm-hmm.
we had forgotten to ask ourselves that question in like the nitty gritty of building the module, of building the actual
Okay.
interactions that the learner is going to use. So go
Mm.
back to basics every time.
Go back to basics. That's amazing and
So
inspirational.
yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say I was the inspiration, but you know what? It was one of my team. And we're going to talk more about that as we go through our podcast
That's
today. So
wonderful.
I love that. I wish it was a good segue, but it's not, because we're going to come to your fabulousness and you're going to tell me, what did you do to ask the question, what does success look like for this project?
Sure. Well, in addition to being a motivational speaker and a boldness coach, I'm also a certified Dale Carnegie trainer. And this week, I attended an event in Charleston that was a little bit different than what we would typically do. It was a customized event for a special group of professionals. And I was going to support the lead facilitator or the lead trainer as a way to kind of experience more of the Dale Carnegie world. And so I asked him about a week before, what does success look like for this group, for this session? What are we trying to achieve? And by me having that clarity from the outset, without knowing that I was really driving the bus, I was more of like the support person. Maybe like, yeah, I can't even say I was the GPS on the bus, but I was a support in the room, there to help. And that allowed me to
You were the
make
ticket
sure that,
collector.
ah, beautifully done. I was making, yes.
I can imagine you with a little
Tickets,
hat,
please.
like, tickets, please.
Just like, and like stamping them as we go,
Yeah,
right?
why have we both gone back to a time that is forgotten? I love this. That's great. We've really painted a
Because
picture
we are
now.
classically fabulous. That's why.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So that question allowed me to show up for him and for the participants in a very meaningful way. And the session went just fabulously well.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's brilliant. I love that. And
Thank
of
you.
course it went fabulously well. You were there.
Oh,
I think that the audience needs to recognize that this is just a weekly opportunity for me and Cassandra to tell each other that we're doing great.
that
Like, you
is
survived,
accurate.
and the weekend's going to be fabulous, and then Monday's going to come, and then before you know it, it'll be Friday, and we'll be telling each other that we're great again. It's fabulous. Really, I think everybody should have an emotional support podcast.
I love that emotional support podcast. Yes, they should. They should. Or tune into
Fantastic.
ours and like take our energy and put
Just
that
yeah,
into their life.
absorb the
Yeah,
sycophancy. Like, just
that's
absorb it.
right. Oh, just
Love it.
sham wow that up. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay, you and at the end of this episode, we're going to pose this week's Friday Courage Challenge related to our topic of the week. So stick around, everybody.
We sure are. I love that.
All right, let's get into it. The first thing we want to chat about today, when it comes to thinking creatively is to ground our conversation with a bold take and real world data. So what does that mean? Here's what we discovered. Research shows that companies who actively encourage creative thinking are more than 3 times as likely to see revenue growth than those companies that don't. 3 times as likely to see revenue growth. That stat is from a 2025 McKinsey study. So we know that creative thinking can be powerful. It can lead to more profit. What else can thinking creatively do for us?
Well, I really love that you shared that stat with us, and I did a little of my own kind of thinking and reflecting on it. And when I was thinking about what does that actually mean, if I was a leader listening to this podcast and I heard that stat that 3 times more likely, so my team is going to be 3 times more likely to be successful, let's say revenue growth is a great metric of success, then how do I, as a new leader or as an existing leader, how do I actually like put that into practice and build that into my culture? So I was really starting to think about some of my experiences of working in different leadership roles and different teams across my career. And the one thing that I've always found when I've been in a creative team or in a successfully creative team is how creativity isn't restricted by structure. Yes. And I've always felt in the most creative teams that I've ever worked in, whether that was at Disney or whether that was at Royal Caribbean Group or whether that was in my own team now at the Bright Spark Group, where there's lots of creativity happening all the time, I really feel like the success is in the chaos. It's in the ability to be able to have creativity flowing constantly every single day as like a core behavior, rather than it being, okay, everybody, we're going to be scheduling our ideation session for Friday at 12 o'clock. And you're going to be allowed to be creative for 56 minutes. And for the final 4 minutes, I had to do the maths. For the final 4 minutes, I am going to critique your creativity. And I just feel like the most successful teams I've ever worked on have been allowed to just be freely creative and be safe in that space, where there is this culture of safety. When you have that wild idea, it's not going to be shot down in flames.
I have two immediate thoughts to what you just said. First of all, brilliant. That's not one of them. First thought is
they can be.
Yeah, well, 3 thoughts. Brilliant. 2, they say don't bring an umbrella to a brainstorm, because it, if someone throws an idea and you start to naysay it or say that won't work, all momentum goes down the tube. The third thing that made me think about is when we think creatively, we can open ourselves up to risk. We can open ourselves up to uncertainty and the unknown, because we're thinking in ways that we haven't thought before. And that's so bold, so very bold. And what it ultimately leads to is people feeling more in alignment with the work that they're doing or the project that they're completing. And having that authenticity plus boldness is really a powerful combination in every faction of life. But in this specific situation, it allows folks to really dig into what's going to make that project or that task shine.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. I really like all 3 of those points. The brilliant one was my favorite, but the other 2 were really inspirational as well. I agree. Do you know what? I love what was it you said? Don't bring an umbrella to a brainstorm?
That's right.
Genius.
Yeah.
Never heard that before.
Okay, yes. Right. The idea with a brainstorm is to not respond with any kind of evaluative comments during an ideation session, is to just let it all flow. And then a lot of folks like to step back, come back to it the next day or a few hours later, and then start to evaluate with a clear head.
I really love that. So one thing that I always think about when it comes to like being creative is
Hmm.
the potential or the possibility to be shot down in flames kind of dampens your
Yes.
spirit in the moment of ideation, right? Or
Yes.
in the moment of
Yes.
brainstorming. So I really like that idea of the visual of let's all put our umbrellas away. Let's all
Yeah.
just let all the ideas out, come
Yep.
rain or shine,
That's
and
right.
then we will come back after, and then we'll start doing the evaluation. I think somebody
Yeah.
once said to me that failure, you
Mm.
have to see it as data. It's an
Hmm.
opportunity to learn, and when we have an opportunity to learn, we can use that and analyze that to then be better the next time. So
Yes.
if you don't say the idea, say the bad idea, say the idea that's never going to work, say the idea
Hmm.
that's not thought through or not well
Hmm.
considered, then you don't get the opportunity to fail.
It's
By
true.
having said the idea and it being critiqued or being evaluated or being analyzed or put
Hmm.
under scrutiny. So
Hmm.
if we don't say it out loud, we don't give other people the opportunity to throw in their perspective of how that idea may
Exactly.
not work, may not be the best idea. And if you don't give that idea the opportunity to see the daylight, see the other
Hmm.
perspectives, the other experiences, the other views in the room, how do you know that it's not going to work? It's just an idea inside your brain. Or how do you know that it is going to work? It's just an
Hmm.
idea that's safe inside your brain that may never see the light of day. So I really love that idea of the umbrella, never bringing it
Hmm.
to the brainstorm, but also
Hmm.
that fact that sometimes, just even if it is the bad idea, you'll
Hmm.
never know it's truly a bad idea until you say it out loud and let other people scrutinize it.
Yes. And is it a bad idea, or is it just not the best idea for that scenario? Because that idea might spark someone else to go down a different kind of neural pathway of thinking about something, and they could come up with an idea that ends up being the winning ticket. So
Right.
we tend to evaluate our ideas in our own head before we share them. And there's a
Mhm.
hesitation to share ideas that are not fully baked, that might be
Right.
just half baked, or that might seem completely unattainable or unrealistic. And that's where the magic happens, when we
Right.
can kind of
Absolutely.
let go of the restrictions we have. You ever play the game of like, if I could travel anywhere and money was no option, this is where I go, what I would, and this is what I would do. That's the kind of like freedom we need to bring to
Every day
creative
at
thinking.
around about 6:30 in the morning.
Yes, I know that's true for you. So, yeah, to
Do
have that level of freedom is just so empowering for everybody, for you as the idea sharer, and for the whole group.
I love that. It made me think of something in my head, and I'm sure somebody else has said it before, but I'll say
Hmm.
it anyway. I think that a bad idea is just not a good idea yet. Like if you have this bad idea,
Yes.
get it out there. It'll be a good idea. It just needs other people to shape it into that.
That is so
A
well
bad idea
summarized.
is
Yes.
just not a good idea yet. I'm going to get that tattooed. Ladies and gentlemen watching or listening this podcast right now, if that is if someone Google it. I can't multitask. Somebody has to Google that and tell me if somebody else has said it. Has that quote been attributed? If not, it is going to be on my LinkedIn within 24 hours, attributed to me, and I will take the legal consequences.
I love that. You know what it's time for, right? That was so amazing.
Ah, I knew it. I knew it. And do you know what? All week long, Cassandra, I was going to get a button on my little buttony thing here, and I was going
Yeah,
to get it recorded, and I was going to have a button for it. But you're going to do it manually, and then next week we'll have some technology. Ready?
I love it. Yep. Hey, Ewan, can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah! It's
Oh,
awful. It's really
amazing.
bad.
It's
It's just,
so good. I love it. It's
ladies and
so
gentlemen, I
cringeworthy and
apologize for
fabulous.
us. I
Oh, no.
apologize
I am
for us,
sorry,
but
not sorry, as Demi Lovato says.
I don't know who that is. Um,
Oh, I'll send you the song later.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much.
You'll
And I
like it.
apologize to Demi if she's listening. She's not, but if she was, I'm really sorry, Demi. I'm sure you're a wonderful person with a lot of talent. I'm assuming that she is some sort of singer.
She is. She is. She's an empowering singer. I'll send you the tune. You'll love it.
Okay. I
Okay.
look forward to it.
Yes.
Um,
Okay, where are we? What's
well, I
next?
think I think we were talking about creativity.
Oh,
You
yes.
you had a bold take for us, I believe.
I do. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Here's the bold take. If you're not modeling curiosity with an open mind and playful experimentation, we're missing the huge opportunity to unlock your team's potential. And yes, it is scary to kind of let those guards down, take a really uninhibited view of curiosity and playful experimentation, because as adults, we really don't encourage play. I mean, you do with the Bright Spark group. You are all about play
All
in the
about it.
work, all about it. And that's one of the beautiful things about the work that you do is you help grown adults tap into that curiosity, tap into that playfulness,
Yes.
and grow and stretch in ways that they probably weren't expecting. What's an example of one activity that you do to help your clients build on that
Well,
curiosity and experimentation?
I love that this has become a shameless plug moment, and I'm gonna use it. Thank you for giving it to me, Cassandra.
You're welcome.
I so you are right. I have
Yes.
got this fervent belief that when we are training, particularly service professionals,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a wide blanket sweeping statement, and it's not the case for everybody that works and lives in the service industry, but for many, many, many of us, the vast majority, we are doers. We get things done and we learn by doing. And I think that probably everybody has a certain level of that in them. But I think in the hospitality industry, you're drawn generally to that industry because you want a job that gets you up and moves you around, and it's not going to be routine. There's not going to be a
Mm-hmm.
sense of routine in it. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that sort of person has a brain that is probably similar to mine in many ways, where we maybe aren't wired naturally for academia. So one thing that when I set up the Bright Spark group, I really wanted to focus our efforts into was finding opportunities to make our learning experiences as practical as possible. And that is where I found something that I'd never experienced myself before, but that's where I found Lego Serious Play.
Mm-hmm.
So Lego Serious Play to me, it was the moment where I was like, click, oh, this is what we need to do. We don't
Yes.
do it with everything, but we do it with quite a lot of our programs, and we can actually make it kind of fit into any of our programs, which is
Mm-hmm.
what it's beautiful for. But essentially, it's founded upon the psychology of kinesthetic learning, where
Mm-hmm.
people learn by doing. So when you're moving your hands and you're building something, you're allowing your brain that space, that safe space, to very creatively articulate something in a tangible object.
Mm-hmm.
And then it allows you to then share your creativity, not through some ethereal sense of like, I'm having to write a dissertation on my deepest, darkest thoughts about accountability conversations, but you're able to
Mm-hmm.
have built something that represents your thoughts on accountability. And instead of talking about it from here, you're talking about it from the model that you've created. And I
Mm-hmm.
love the response that it gets, because what it does, I say to my clients, it's like the great leveler activity, because it
Mm.
allows for those people who may not necessarily be the most reflective and are maybe
Mm-hmm.
more outspoken, maybe a little bit louder. You all know
Mm-hmm.
those people in training
Mm-hmm.
sessions who've always got their hands up or always have the answer. It
Yes.
allows them to bring their brain down to a speed that allows them to really think through their thoughts and
Mm-hmm.
articulate them clearly through the building of something.
Mm-hmm.
But then it allows those people who are quieter and more reflective and want kind of to sit in the corner and just think through things, it allows them that space to do it creatively and
Mm-hmm.
then articulate their thoughts through a medium that's maybe not quite as daunting as having to stand up in front of a group of people and share your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So Lego Serious Play to me is one of the products, the experiences that we've got at the Bright Spark group that's almost like our super weapon that allows us to
Yes.
be able to and it can be used anywhere. I've got colleagues that work with through Lego Series Play, who are doing it with financial institutions and top 3 consultancy firms. But I think what makes it really special in the hospitality and service industry is that we love to play. Like, we get to have fun for a living, play games for a living, make memories for a living.
Yes.
So doing something really high energy and colorful and bright and very visual for our hospitality industry like Lego Series Play, I think is just amazing. Every time I show up to a property, if I don't have my massive big duffel bag of Lego with me, people start asking questions now. They're like,
people can hear you coming with like the Lego blocks clinking
like Lego
together.
Santa Claus. Yeah. And it's really funny because when I do go and travel to my clients that are on the West Coast and we do Lego Series Play with them, I have to take this massive, huge duffel bag and check it in, and it clatters around.
Of course it does.
Feel like a bag of luggage of somebody traveling. So I have to explain to the check-in agent, I'm like, it's Lego. Like, do you regularly travel with a bag of Lego? And I'm like, it's a really long story. But yeah, there you go. But then inevitably what I'll do is I always have Lego in my hand luggage as well. So I'll make them a little model and I'll give it to them when I see them at the check-in desk at the gate.
Oh, that's
like, see, it really was Lego. I promise it was Lego.
What a creative idea.
I know.
It's so special.
You got to make the gate agents smile because they're the ones who ultimately decide whether you're getting the upgrade or not. So
there you go.
It's nice to be nice.
Spoken like a true professional.
Spoken like a true traveler.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I've done an awful lot.
Do you have another story to tell us? Or
there. But if anybody would like to know more about Lego Series Play, whether it's done through us at the Bright Spark Group or just are interested in how to do it, I will be more than happy to talk about it for another 4 years.
Yes. Well, it's powerful. And you've seen the value that it brings and how it can shift energy and shift mindsets. So it's pretty incredible.
Absolutely. I think that it definitely has a place, and it's very much one of those things I'm glad that we stumbled upon in our random 2 a.m. Googling for things to make our training better. So yeah, I know that when we were talking about creativity and leadership, we had kind of spoken before the podcast about things that happened to us and that differentiation about how we create those environments. I had a story that I wanted to share.
Yay! I love your story. I love your stories. I've just done a lot
of talking, so I'm really sorry, audience. You're gonna have to hunker down for a little bit more of the American.
Let's have a blether, Ewan.
Blether time.
Blether time.
Are you sitting comfortably? Then blether shall begin. For those that don't know the word blether, please go to our very, 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 very first podcast in the back catalogue of all 8 of our podcasts. So I want to share a story about leadership creativity, and I want to share a story about the importance, or a story from my experience, that I think just highlights and illustrates the importance of creating a safe space for people. So we're going to go way back in my career when I first started working in hotels. I had never worked in a hotel before. I was working on the front office. I was working as a front office supervisor. It was an experience. But when I walked into this job, they were going through this period of time where they had really bad scores. And I remember that every single pre-shift that we did, these scores got brought up. And I didn't really know what the scores were at that point. I don't really quite understand it like I do now. But the scores were made for a very tense 10-15 minute pre-shift before your shift started. And you knew it was coming every single shift.
That's bad energy. I don't
know. Bad juju. We did not like it. And eventually it got to the point where the scores kept on getting mentioned. Nothing was changing, that the leader called a mandatory team meeting. First mandatory team meeting I'd ever had. I was like, oh, this is exciting. I wonder what's going down. Lo and behold, it was the scores. And I remember sitting in this conference room. I don't think I'd ever been in any of the conference rooms other than during my first day to kind of see the place. And we're all sitting there around the conference table. And it was very, very tense. And there was our leader at the top of the table. And it was very foreign as well. I'd never really been in an office environment like that before. So I was a bit fearful for what was coming. And of course, the scores got brought up. And I remember looking around this room and seeing everybody's faces when they asked the question, so what ideas do you have to fix the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And now, granted, he did ask the question, he asked for creativity,
Mm-hmm.
but every single person around that table looked to their feet and came up with nothing at all. We left the meeting and nothing really happened. It wasn't, we shouldn't have been that worried. There was donuts, I think, and some coffee,
Okay.
which was exciting. I think that was the highlight of the meeting. The
Sure.
fact I still remembered the donuts and the coffee is a testament to how exciting the meeting was.
Definitely.
Anyway, fast forward a little bit, and we come to operations director that we had. I think she was rooms divisions manager or something. And she was really nice. I remember her being a really wonderful, warm character, personality. I never really got to know her very well, but I just always remember her presence being a very positive one. And
Mm-hmm.
she came in, and as she used to do fairly regularly, she came behind the desk and would stand next to you while you were checking guests in, and she would chat to the guest, and you would check the guest in, and it was all very normal and very nice. And now looking back on it, having got to the lofty heights of hotel management and the in the industry, I now know exactly what she was doing, and it was genius. And it's something that I would advocate to any leader to do. As the receptionist supervisor that I was standing behind that desk, I remember her having a conversation with me and one of my colleagues, Hannah, and she was just talking about stuff. Just
Mm-hmm.
how are you? How are things going? And the conversation kind of moved into the scores very naturally, very sort of non-intrusively. And she started asking, what do we think? And I remember us both at that point feeling really comfortable and being able to kind of tell her what we thought and why we thought it was happening. And Hannah then piped up, and I remember her kind of having this brain spark of a moment and saying, do you know what I think the problem is? I think it's got something to do with the shift timing. The shift changes at this
Oh,
moment,
yeah.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
just too soon before our guests, this big wave of guests, we used to always get airport guests, would kind of wave in at this point.
Sure.
She was like, by the time I get here, get myself sorted, get into pre-shift, get on the desk, get my cash drawer out, get everything set up, and I kind of get my head in the game,
Mm-hmm.
we're already in the middle of chaos. If we could come
Mm.
in an hour earlier, or if we could come in an
Mm-hmm.
hour later so that the
Yep.
previous shift has to deal with it, we wouldn't be in this state of chaos and feeling so under pressure. And Hannah didn't even think about it. And I didn't even think about it until probably about maybe 2 or 3 hours ago when I was thinking about something to say here. I really didn't think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Going back in time and reflecting on that, she was doing exactly what every leader should do to create leadership creativity or to create
Mm-hmm.
creativity in their team. She created an environment that felt so safe and so lacking in any pressure or any possibility of repercussions that we were able to share our real life lived perspective.
Mm.
And I remember, now I will say the scores did not suddenly shoot up through the roof and we were at 95 NPS, but I do remember they changed the shift time. And I
Mm-hmm.
do remember personally the change it made to me as a person that was standing and working behind that desk, because I
Mm-hmm.
was so much more relaxed when that wave happened. I was so
Oh,
much more chilled.
good.
And the scores
Yeah.
did go up. They didn't go up the amount that I think everybody wanted them to, but they did go up. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that this story just really is testament to the fact that creating safety allows for solutions to happen naturally. But
Yes.
when fear is created, it creates silence. And
Mm-hmm.
when leaders create silence, they are creating a problem. So my biggest piece of advice, takeaway from that experience, thinking about how do leaders create a culture of creativity,
Mm-hmm.
is make your people feel safe. Make your
Mm.
people feel like there is nothing bad that's going to come from them speaking up and giving even the worst possible idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's where I landed.
That's wonderful. Loving that leadership confessional story. It's very powerful. And for those of our audience members who might not know, these scores that you speak of, are they guest? Are they from
Yes, sorry.
guests? Okay.
Jargony. I'm so sorry. That is like
No,
one of
that's
the worst things I could have done. NPS is Net Promoter Score. It's one of
okay.
the key metrics in hotels and travel and
Mm-hmm.
tourism industry. NPS is that question. We've all been asked it before in a survey. How likely are you to recommend to your friends or
Ah,
family? And
yes.
and you're scored between 1 to 10. And for anyone who has lived in the world of hospitality or service for any length
Mm-hmm.
of time, you will also have palpitations because you'll remember the words detractors,
Mm-hmm.
neutrals, and promoters. And promoters are
Mm-hmm.
anybody that scores you a 9 or a 10. But anybody that scores you anything below that,
Mm-hmm.
off with their head. Not good. So yeah,
Oh,
so we need
yes.
to NPS is like one of those metrics that's used around the world for
Okay,
many different service-based industries.
that's great. So now that we kind of have a sense of the scores and how they really dictate and affect the day-to-day workings of the hospitality world, what I think that story shows us is creativity and creative leadership is not a straight line. It's not tidy. It's messy, it's real, and it's sometimes awkward, as was in that all team meeting when y'all looked at your feet and stood and sat in silence. But your team lead who came in with you behind the desk, she leaned in with you and with Hannah. And even just that little gesture created huge opportunities for breakthrough thinking. And by shifting the start time of the shifts, everything flowed better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Scores went
absolutely.
up, guests were happy, employees were happy. It's wonderful.
Yeah, opportunities they're just to have that breakthrough, and it's not just about have an idea, go,
Mm-hmm,
give me your
mm-hmm,
idea
mm-hmm.
immediately. It's about creating a space where people naturally and organically feel like they can share their ideas, that they can come to you with their
Yes.
ideas.
Uh, as someone who's all about authenticity and boldness, this is so up my alley. I love it. Such a great conversation. Now, before we close the speakeasy doors for this week, here is this week's Friday Courage Challenge. We encourage you to try one small experiment in creative leadership. It could be a new way to brainstorm, a playful team exercise, Legos or not, whatever, do you, or asking a bold question in your next meeting. Don't overthink it. Just create the space for ideas to happen.
And if that feels a little uncomfortable, good. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly where growth happens, right? Remember, the leadership is
Yes.
not about perfection, it is about action. And that is what the root of leadership is.
So true. True. If or when you want to find out how I empower teams and individuals to unleash their hidden firepower to live boldly and authentically, reach out to me on my socials. I'm at Cassandra Sparks U across all of them. Cassandra Sparks YOU.
And if you want to take your workplace learning programs and experiences from bland to brilliant, then follow the Bright Spark group by searching Team Bright Spark on all of them, the entire socials, all the
Yes,
channels.
all the channels. And the cherry on this gorgeous Sunday is we, Ewan and I, have our very own fun shop called Own the Room, Tell Your Story. This is a very special experience that we put our two big, beautiful brains together to collaborate on. And it allows leaders to practice presence, confidence, and storytelling that actually lands and sticks long after the workshop is over. Get in touch with us if you or your team can benefit from taking their public presence and presentation skills to new heights. If this conversation sparks something for you, share it with someone who needs a seat at our table. Ewan, want to take us out?
I sure will.
Let's do
We'll
it.
see you back here next Friday. Same speakeasy, same sparks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.